Hey, what's up, guys? So, if somebody wanted to know about losing hope and drive for life, yet not knowing exactly why or what is going on that is causing this feeling constantly. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this because this is something that I've experienced many times, sometimes still do. I probably experienced that yesterday, the day before. So one of the reasons why I get to that point, maybe that could be the reason why he got to that point, is just vibrating at a low level, man. Just not really feeling good overall for, other reasons. You don't need too many reasons to not have a lot of lust for life. A lot of us, when we're down, vibrating at a low level, we can't wait for it to be over. The downside of that, as I've also experienced many times over, is that when you kind of come across somebody who sparks a little bit of lust for life in you, then you're reminded of all of the times you were being extremely passive, let life pass you by, and now you're not where you think you should be. You feel extremely naked. Meanwhile, everybody around you is fighting for, something greater. Now, that may not matter to you. Okay, so you don't care if people around you have a lust for life. That's cool. But one thing that really does help me get it back, that fight in me, is just listening to other people. Listening to people on YouTube, or reading from people who have great stories of triumph. And what you may find is that, maybe you didn't really set out to do anything that is much of a challenge, something that can redirect that focus, something to excite you because of habit, because, life can get really mundane and redundant. And one thing that I realized, even though I set a lot of, high goals for myself, when I wake up sometimes, or a lot of times in the morning or after a nap or whatever it is, or when I find myself alone, it's just me. It's just me, the quiet. And I often forget why I'm even doing what I'm doing. So sometimes it's really good to put on something that's motivational. Not just somebody telling you, get out and do it. You can. It's just more so people telling their story, so you can feel part of the human experience by allowing others to tell you about theirs. And then you get back to doing the things that you said you wanted to do. So, and when it comes to me doing the things I say I wanted to do, if I really can't pull it out of myself, then I try to get hyped up by watching other people who are successful at it. Yeah, pretty much that. A lot of people, looking up people who had success at it, having them talk about it, watching them make it doable, watch them simplify things, and that really helps. But also, back to the first thing that I said about it being a vibrational thing, I really, when I'm disciplined enough, which is starting to grow in numbers, I do things to raise my vibration. And I know it just sounds like very cliche, raise your vibrations, but no, it's just like in the video that I put together about getting into the flow state, singing and dancing and stuff like that, really getting an out of body experience of sorts. But at the very least, um, it's kind of paving the way for what's to come next, man. You gotta constantly challenge yourself, constantly, explore new things. And hey, why not spend some time in nature to remind you of how you should be living? You should be living very natural. Like, it shouldn't be something where you have to constantly check in on. I mean, I do definitely believe in checking in on yourself, but you shouldn't have to constantly check in on where your level of like motivation or lust for life is, I mean, you can feel it if it's there or if it isn't. So, I mean, and those are the things that I do to go about it. And another thing I would do is just sometimes I would, if I'm not really feeling it, I will cut off everything else. Like I will cut off the distractions and just really sit and think and journal. Journaling is actually extremely important in this matter, because now it gives you another chance. No matter how many times you do it, it's gonna keep giving you a chance to really get in touch with why you may be feeling this way. Now, if you ever talk to somebody, if you ever talk to a therapist or something like that, you may have found that you've been answering your own questions. You know what I'm saying? You've been the answer to your problems. You know what I'm saying? Through what you say, through verbalizing, and you will find that that's also the case when you sit and write it down. This mind, at least how mind works, it's a very deceptive thing, man. It can be, like I can be very forgetful, very biased towards the negatives, and ultimately that's doing me no good. So it's always good to sit down and write, and always remind yourself of the things that you wanted to do and why, and see if that can pull some emotion out of you. See if that can pull some fight out of you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to constantly, I can't stress this enough, constantly expose yourself to new information that's going to keep you going, and of course check in with yourself, but also spend some time in nature where you don't really have to check in with yourself, where just you kind of recalibrate, because you may be burnt out, and I hope that helps.